So in this session, we are going to talk about CrewAI. It's a leading multi-agent platform. And in previous episodes, we talked about LangChain and LangGraph. But in this session, we are going to drill down into CrewAI. And this is a multi-part series. We are going to drill down into CrewAI, what all are the components and how they are connected. And then we are going to write some code using agents and tasks. And it will be a real life example, which you can use really from today itself. And you will see how I'm using just a couple of lines of my to-dos and turning it into a very nice status report by the end of the month. So we'll see an example of that. And in the next, we will write some custom tasks which can be used to answer some specific HR questions. And these questions can be very personalized, where you are giving an employee name and checking the vacation balance. And then we'll see a code example of human in the loop. So before we drill down into the code, let's talk about some of the building blocks of CrewAI. So it has three main components: agents, task, and tools. So I'd like you to understand the theory behind these agents and task and tool. So when you will look at the code, you will understand how you can manipulate these three things to build a useful program. So what is agents? Agents are actually having the intelligence. They have the access to the LLM. So an agent is an autonomous unit that can perform specific tasks. And we will see how you will define these agents. And these agents can make decisions based on their roles and goals. So agents have a persona, and they have a role and the goal, and using that they know what they are supposed to be doing. And agents use tools to accomplish objective, and we'll talk about tools in a minute. But when we are defining agents, we can tell them what tool they can use, and they can communicate and collaborate with other agents. So these agents are smart, they know about other agents, and these agents can talk to each other through events. And the next is they can have the memory of the interactions also. So they have an understanding of the context and they will remember that. So after agent, the task is a specific assignment completed by an agent. So the task provides all necessary details for execution, such as description, the agent responsible, and what are the required tools are there. So that's what the task does. And task has generally a pointer to the agents also, that this task will be utilized by these agents. Again, we will see this definition when we will get into the code. And last is the tools. It is actually a skill or function that agent can utilize to perform various actions. So tools are actually functions using which agents can perform tasks in the real world. Basically, they can call a functions, they can call any API, and then they can interact with the outside world. And there are many tools already packaged in CrewAI, where there can be tools to read a file, write a file, do a GitHub search, do a PDF rack search, scrape website. All different kind of tools are already there. It's already given to you by CrewAI. But you can build your own tool also, and that tool can be checking your database and making call to your API, to your ServiceNow instance, and making another API to your cloud instance and all that. So tools are actually functions which are capable to do real tasks. So these are the three key components of CrewAI: agent, task, and tool. And we're going to see how they work together. And there are some more concepts. We will talk about them as we go along and as we'll write the code. But before we move, one more concept is here, which I want you to understand, that task will have a pointer to tools. When we're defining tasks, we can tell this task need these tools to be utilized to complete that task. And agents also have a pointer to the tool. So one example of the tool can be, update your ServiceNow instance, ServiceNow tickets. Or when we'll see the example of human in the loop, there we can build a custom tool which says, ask a human, things like that. Now, these three components, when they are put together, they are called a crew. So that's where the name CrewAI comes from. So this is one crew we have built. And then they have a concept of flows where we can have multiple crews. And we'll see some example where we will create different crews and how all these crew can work together and basically complete a particular task. So now let's look at the code. So let's get started. Open VS Code. And I have opened a folder which is empty. As you can see, there's a folder. So here's the folder, CrewAI, which is an empty folder. There's nothing in there. Now let's do, first thing is, let's set up a virtual environment. So Python 3, this will create a virtual environment for our Python. As you can see, a folder is created here. And now let's activate it. Okay, so to activate, this is the command venvironment scripts activate. Okay, as you can see, the prompt has changed, so we are in our virtual environment. And now let's go and download the CrewAI and the tools. So pip3 install CrewAI tools. Okay, now the CrewAI and the tool is installed. Let's create a project. CrewAI, create crew. And I want to create a project which will create status reports for me. So let's call this project status reports crew. So it's a crew which is going to create status report for me. Now it is asking me some questions like select a provider to set up. So I'm going to choose OpenAI here, but later in the code we'll see how we can use Ollama also, and you don't have to go to OpenAI. And then select the model. I will choose 2, which is GPT-4o, and enter your OpenAI key. For now, I'll just say XXX, and it created a project here. As you can see here, the project is created here, and in the source you can see all the tools and config and crew Python file and the main file. So first thing I do in every project, first thing is environment file. I copy this file and paste it here. This copy file will be checked into the GitHub, so people will know what kind of keys they need to have here. And as you can see in git ignore, the environment is there. So environment file will never be checked in, and I will put my real OpenAI key here. Okay, now let's look at the code. So here is main. So the main is saying it is passing one input. We'll talk about that. It's instantiating a class called status report crew and just kicking that crew off to the get started on the work and passing some input. So let's look at this base class of status report crew, which will be here in crew Python. So here, as you can see, it's a class and it's referring to a couple of config file. We'll take a look at that. And then we have a couple of things here, agent and task, right? These methods, and then you just put this attribute of task and agent, so they turn into task and agent. And then there's a crew, which is having an agent and task. What is agent? So here you can see I have two agents, right? So agent is an autonomous unit that can perform specific tasks. They can make decisions based on their role and goals, and they can use tool to accomplish objective. So that's what agents do. They know how to use the tool. So we will see their definition here in the config file. It's an agent's YAML. As you can see, I have two agents, researcher and reporting analyst. Their role, what is their role, and what is the goal? Uncover cutting edge development in topics. I'll talk about this topic from where it is coming. This is passed in the main, as you must have seen here, the value of topic. As you can see here, topic saying AI LLM, and I can say, I can give any topic which I want the research to be done. So I can say Boeing stock. So I want to know Boeing company and their stock. So going back to here to agents. So one agent is researcher. This agent does basically, it is a data researcher, and the backstory is the persona of the agent. So here it says you are a seasoned researcher with a knack for uncovering the latest development in topic. As we've seen, topic is coming from my main. Known for your ability to find the most relevant information and present it in clear and concise manner. Same way I have the second agent. So there are the two agents. And then here's the task. So what is task? In CrewAI framework, a task is a specific assignment completed by an agent. So tasks provide all the necessary detail for execution, such as description, the agent responsible, required tools, and it facilitates a wide range of action complexities. So tasks within a CrewAI can be collaborative, require multiple agents to work together. So tasks can be executed in two ways. They can be sequential or they can be hierarchical. So as you can see, we are just defining these tasks. We give them description, expected output, and which agent is responsible to carry these tasks. So that's the relationship between task and agent. And the last concept is the tools. So what is tool? So a tool in CrewAI is a skill or function that agent can utilize to perform various actions. This includes tool from the CrewAI toolkit or a LangChain tools, enabling everything from simple search to complex interaction and effective teamwork among agents. So we will look into tool now. So here I have these tools. This is one of my custom tool. So we'll come back to tool in more detail later on. But now let's see the agent, task, and how this whole thing will work together. In the Crew, what we are doing here is we are just passing the config pointer. In place of writing all this code here, it's just going to the YAML file. Nothing special here. And now here I have multiple methods. So now we'll just run the first one. And we gave it a topic to find out about Boeing task. And what this agent will be doing is, as we've seen, we have two agents. So one agent, it will research about the Boeing stock. And then the second one, it will write about the Boeing stock. And how this all happens? Because there was a crew file. Here you will see the agents are there and the tasks are there. And this is the definition of crew, that you have multiple agents. Because of the decorator, it understands who are the agents. And as you can see, we said process is sequential. So by that we mean first the researcher will research and take the output and give it to the reporting analyst. And this reporting agent will create a report. So let's just run it as is, and then we'll start modifying it to create our status report agents. So now we are just researching. So let's do this. Let's run this. So here, CrewAI run. Okay, we got a lot of error because we have to be in the project file. Now here we should run CrewAI run. So if you will see, it's installing 212 packages. So literally we are standing on the shoulder of giants. We are dependent on so much on the community work. It's unbelievable, because you can see this is years of worth of work created by multiple people, more than 200 packages. But we just write one command and everything gets installed and everything is running. So let's give it a few minutes and we'll see once it's done. So this is the first agent, which is a senior data researcher, and its task is to conduct through a research given the year and find the relevant information. And still that task is run by the same agent. Now he's telling us the final answer is this: it found out all this information about Boeing by calling the LLM, and then it is passed to the reporting agent, and their task is review the context you got and expand each topic into a full section. So this agent is now writing the report, and this is the final answer. Its whole report is written and the report is kept here. So let's take a look at the report. So you can see these agents, they work together and wrote this beautiful research report for me about the Boeing stock. So one thing I want to quickly talk about how this report got created. As you can see, there's a report.md file is written by these agents. So if you will see the definition of this agent, one agent, let's open it in a full window here, crew. So my task for my reporting task gives a output file. So the output of this task goes into this file, and this is how we define the task. And this task is connected to reporting analyst agents. So this is the full circle, and that's how we have created this beautiful report. And you can imagine you can have these agents, they can do multiple things. So now let's see how I can use this framework to use just couple of lines of my to-do work item, and it will create a beautiful status report for me. So let's do that. So now we are going to make very slight change in this project to make it very useful. So what I want to do is, I have this to-do list. This is just few items I have written, just without paying much attention to the grammar or anything. Just I jotted down what all things I have done. Now here I am showing it in a to-do.txt file, but this whole information can come from reading your Outlook calendar maybe. So here I just want to show you how all these things, the tools and agents and tasks, can connect and do something very useful for you. This can save at least an hour of my time, because I jot down this to do as the day go by. So at the end of the month, I am having this to-do list, and then I will use this code to write a very nice report. So the first thing what we have to do is we have to come in Crew File and add a file reader tool. And here is the tool added with the file path. So the to-do is here, we give the path. And now this tool we have to add to the task, the research task. So let's look at the agent again. So they are modified a little bit. So I have one research agent which is supposed to, the role is, it's a report researcher, it reads the to-do list and writes status report for current month. And now this current month is coming from here. The topic is gone and I put this current month. This is coming from here. And here's the backstory. You read the to-do list and write the status report in very clear and professional manner. You add more context to the status report and add more work can be done for the each to-do. So it is going to add more work in the my report itself, that these extra thing we can do for next month or so. And the next agent is a reporting analyst. It creates the detailed report based on the research finding. And backstory is you are a meticulous analyst with a keen eye for detail, all that, and you are known for your ability to turn complex data into clear and concise reporting, making it easy for others to understand and act on information you provide. This is the important information here. And you format the report as follows. This is my format I want. Create following section. Section 1. Status of task projects, completed, current or ongoing. Again, as you can see, I'm just writing the sentences in a very sloppy manner. Now, this is my agent. Again, two agents, researcher and reporting analyst. Now, correspondingly, we have two tasks. This is the research task, and it says description, make sure you find any interesting and relevant information about to-dos given for the current year is current year and month, which we are passing from the main. And expected output of this task is just a bullet list about the to-dos given. And the name of the agent which will execute this task is researcher. Actually, we did not change anything in the reporting task. We left it as is because it is taking the context and expanding each topic. So these are the few changes we have done. Now we can come and run the main. Let's delete all this. So here, now let's run it here. As you can see, it is creating the report. Now let's go and look at the report. MD file here. As you can see, this report is very nicely generated out of those sloppy just one line statement. It's very nicely formatted. It has a proper sections, section 2, section 3, and you can see proof of concept document processing using AWS. So it has added a lot of detail of its own. Out of that one line statement, a very nice report is created. So as you can see, it added this one line cost management of Azure API in problem areas and corrective action by this line, where it sees that we are doing something with the cost tracking in Azure API, and it added this point saying managing dynamic LLM costs remain a concern. Efforts are being undertaken to develop more predictive analytics tool using historical data, which should assist in with better financial planning. Now, this thing we have not written here in our to-do, but it's added. So again, you have to go through this and make sure it's not hallucinating too much. Most of the time it will help. So you may realize sometime that yes, it is good that it has added this, that we must develop more predictive analytics tool using the historical data. So this is a quick and a very short example of how you can use agents and tasks and tools to create a real working AI system literally in a couple of minutes. And in part 2, maybe we'll drill deep into CrewAI, all other things like how you can create the workflow, what is process, and how you can put the human in the loop also. So that we will be adding in part 2 of this series. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And please let your feedback keep coming and let me know how we can improve and what else you'd like to see on this channel. Thanks.